Well, we're just wrapping up the old Nissan 300ZX, and that's because we've run out of space here for the winter because of all the cars we have laying around, and we're going to do some work on this car next spring and through the summer, and you'll get to see some of that work right here on the SST Car Show. But today, we have a lot of very cool stuff lined up for you. We're going to take you to Denver, Colorado for a tour around one of the coolest auto museums in North America. We're also going to show you a Batmobile tribute car, and we're going to have the designer of the original Batmobile, George Barris, right here on this show. All that and a whole lot more coming up right here on the SST Car Show. SST is brought to you by Stark Auto Sales, home of the ultimate worldwide scratch and dent car sale. Hey friends, I'm Rick Walker. Welcome to another edition of the SST Car Show. Today we have George Barris, the Batmobile designer. We also have a tribute Batmobile to show you. And we're going to take you to the Forney Museum in Denver, Colorado. We're going to tour that place. We're going to show you a couple of the coolest cars there. We're going to give you kind of an overview of what they have to offer down there. But first, let's head off to the Ottawa-Gatineau International Auto Show. That's where this year we hooked up with Bernard Durand of John Scotti Cars, who takes us on this tour of the Lamborghini display. Let's just start with the numbers because this thing is impressive all the way around. How much horsepower is here?
Okay, this Aventador's got 700 horsepower. It's an all-wheel drive car. It's a V12. It's the only one with the Lambo door. The car's got a full structure in carbon fiber, which is unique in the industry. Mm-hmm. All the body panels are carbon fiber also. It's a car that has like this one's got a suggested manufacturer price of $550,000.
Those are all impressive numbers, and it's all about style, engineering, performance, right?
Yeah, that's it, and unique. I mean, they don't produce 30,000 units a year. They produce about 1,000 units a year.
Can you just take us inside here and just kind of point out some of the features on the interior?
Feature of the interior, you're looking at the push start here, which is to start the car. Feature, you got control of the paddle shift because there's no more manual transmission in that car. Mm-hmm. It's all gear that you shift at the wheel. The interior is all customized, like you can order. See, this one has been ordered the same green as the car with the green stitching, so you can basically build the car the way you want, and Lamborghini will make it.
And of course, all the venting is functional on a car like this. Often, when you're looking at a more utilitarian type of vehicle, they put things that look like vents in there. But the vents here are designed to cool the brakes and cool the engine and create downforce on the car.
Exactly. Everything is functional. There's even some vent that you don't see, like these here will flip at a certain, depending on the way you use the car. If you're on a track all day long and it's very hot outside, these two little inlets could open, but that you have no control on it. They'll open only if it needs.
And in the back end here, you have, kind of an exposed area where you can actually take a look at the engine.
Yeah, that's also an option to have the glass bonnet. This one carried the V12 6.2 liter, 700 horse. That provides performance like 0-60 in 2.8 seconds and a top speed of over 350 kilometers an hour.
That's just incredible, and it's all about balance and handling too.
Oh, yeah.
So what is the weight distribution on this thing?
It's a little heavier in the back, but once you sit in it, it balances up to very close 50-50. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the whole design of it's all about aerodynamics, so they must obviously put this thing into a wind tunnel to make sure that it not only is slippery so that it doesn't have much air friction, but also that it creates that proper downforce, which at top speeds, right, you need to make sure you don't get any air under the car.
Yeah, that's it. That's why you got a flat bottom, completely flat. You got big air extractor in the back, so the air doesn't stay there and try to lift the car, so you got that kind of a ground effect.
Well, a lot of heritage here, a lot of performance. This is no little bull, though.
No.
This is the Lamborghini Aventador. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
And now a quick look back at the Jaguar F-Type, one of our favorite cars from this year's SST Summer Tour. Another car show that we really enjoy going to every year is the Eyes on Design car show in Detroit. And that's because they really pay tribute to automotive design, automotive style. Case in point, Richard Truett's 1973 Triumph. Check this out.
All right, so I'm here with Richard and his 1973 Triumph. Richard, what's so special about this car?
Well, it's pretty rare in North America. They only sold them here for 2 years, 71 through 73. They sold about 3,000 of them, and every last one of them had mechanical problems, and Triumph lost money on every one. So they stopped importing them in 73, and they're fairly rare today.
And what cars were they competing with?
Well, this was Triumph's big move to go upmarket and make more of a luxury car. Triumph was famous for Spitfires and TR6s and small imported sports cars that were affordable. This was trying to compete with like a Mercedes 280 SL.
So unfortunately, it wasn't very triumphant, was it?
No, it wasn't. The car itself is a fine car, but the real problem is with the engine. They made this complicated overhead cam V8 engine that didn't make it out of the warranty period before suffering some major catastrophic failures.
And you restored this all pretty much from scratch, right? Where did you find it?
Well, I found the car down in Sebring, Florida, and the previous owner had taken it all apart with the intention of restoring it and putting it back together. Well, what happened was he quit in the middle of the restoration job and started selling the parts off. And when he was down to just the body and the suspension, he put it on eBay and I bought it. And so I brought it to Michigan and started finding pieces all over the world and put it back together like pieces of a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like a piece, building a puzzle without all the pieces. That's a little bit tricky.
Well, if you have the parts catalog and you see what you're missing, and if you know your way around a little bit, you can pretty much figure it out.
And how much did it cost you roughly?
Well, I probably have around $15,000 in it, and that's got a new engine and everything. That includes the paint job. So the nice thing about these cars is they are pretty affordable to do.
And drivable.
And drivable. It's a wonderful driving car now.
So tell me, Richard, when you're driving around the neighborhood with this beauty, what does it feel like?
You know, you feel kind of special because everybody loves classic cars and, Mustangs and GTOs and other cars, hundreds of those all over the place. And those are nice cars too, but there's not too many of these. And people look at it and they kind of wonder like, hey, that's pretty neat. And, the roof comes off that car too. So sometimes when I take the roof off and it's a convertible, it makes it even more fun.
And I bet everyone looks at you, right?
Well, I'm not an attention hound, but yes.
Gets all the girls' attention. Well, thank you so much, Richard, for being on the show.
Thank you.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll show you a Batmobile tribute vehicle that is spot on. We found it in Toronto. Don't go away.
Don't go away. Street Sport Television is going to keep on trucking right after this commercial break.
Hi, Crazy Dan from Crazy Dan's Auto World. As you can see, my competitor's trying to stop me, but not even this is going to slow me down. Just get in here and I'll sell you a car. You can trust me.
Don't take chances on crazy car salesmen. See Dia and the team at That Car Place.
Don't risk going anywhere else.
Financing below bank rates.
I'm Dia, that car guy. If I can't get you financing, nobody can.
443 Exeter Road, London. Visit thatcarplace.ca.
Looking for a better way to buy a car? Stark Auto Sales holds insurance recovery auctions every Monday. SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, motorcycles, even exotic sports cars. Thousands of vehicles in stock. Some are rebuildable wrecks, some just parts cars. Others are damage-free theft recoveries. You can save a lot of money bidding in person or online. Stark ships worldwide. If you're looking for a better way to buy a car, stop by the next Monday auction at 119 Union Street, Toronto, or visit starkautosales.com. Hey friends, welcome back to the SST Car Show. Off we go to Fan Expo in Toronto. This, of course, is a comic book convention, but at every big comic book convention, they have some great movie cars to show off. And this year at Fan Expo, we found a Batmobile tribute vehicle that was spot on. This thing belongs to Glenn McCulloch. He lives up in the Toronto area, and we're pretty sure you're going to love it. This car was a star at the Fan Expo Comic Convention in Toronto, where the fans couldn't decide if this Batmobile was the real thing or a replica.
It's a Batmobile tribute car or a replica. We never ever make the statement that this is a Batmobile.
When Glenn McCulloch couldn't buy a Batmobile at auction, he decided to make one himself. He started with a 1983 Chevy Caprice and then went crazy. He added Viper suspension and a 550 horsepower nitrous-injected Chevy V8. The bodies for these Batmobile tributes are available in kits.
The bodies are available through Doug Hines out of Ohio. We built the first, this is actually our third one. We built the first two by hand, then we did a collaboration with Doug Hines out of Ohio to fabricate this one up. So they're now available in kit form.
So this is all fiberglass?
It's all fiberglass.
But if you don't want to make your own, you can always check out this one. So if people want to see this thing in motion, see it in action, where can they see it being driven?
Do you know what? The most common place is Orangeville and Brampton, where we're constantly touring between the two up and down Highway 10.
And you take that to car shows, to drag strips?
Local cruise nights in Orangeville are Monday night at the A&W and Wednesday night at the Canadian Tire, and we normally attend.
If there's one thing we always loved in the old Batman series, it was a good car chase scene. And that's why we had one of our co-op students here at the SST Car Show put together this little transition for you featuring radio-controlled cars in a car chase scene. Let us take you now to the Forney Museum in Denver, Colorado, one of the best automotive museums anywhere in North America. Right now, we'd like to show you a 1906 Pope Tribune. This thing really pays tribute to the engineering and technology of the era. What you're looking at here is a 1906 Pope Tribune. These cars were produced in Hagerstown, Maryland. They were first introduced in 1904, and at the time they had a one-cylinder, 6-horsepower engine. Later models that came out around 1905, 1906 came with a little more horsepower, but of course they weren't very powerful cars back in those days. These vehicles were really quite luxurious, even though these were the lowest priced cars in the Pope lineup of vehicles. This company originally made bicycles, so the transition back then to the manufacturing of automobiles was really quite natural for the company. Unfortunately, the Pope Motor Company went out of business in 1914 because of competition from other automobile companies, but this example is on display at the Forney Museum in Denver, Colorado, and it's a testament to the engineering and the craftsmanship of the day and the value that one could find in an automobile of this type back in 1906. Another very cool car that we found at the Forney Museum was this 1912 Metz. Check it out. This 1912 Metz is in pretty good shape, and you can see it at the Forney Museum in Denver, Colorado. What you're looking at here is a vehicle that is truly unique, not just because of the way it drives or the way that it looks, but because of the way people purchased them and built them. This is a 1912 Metz. The man behind this car was Charles Metz, who originally began to build bicycles in the late 1800s and then formed a company called the Waltham Manufacturing Company. Now, over time, he got into a dispute with the shareholders in his firm, and he actually ended up leaving his own company, and then when it fell into financial disarray, he reacquired the firm. Eventually, it was renamed the Metz Motor Company. Now, this car in 1912 was purchased and built by people who would acquire parts packages from the Metz Motor Company. Metz came up with this pay-as-you-go plan to get his company out of financial trouble, and it was extremely successful. It wiped out the company's debts. So over time, someone could purchase a series of packages of parts for $25 each and then put together a car just like this one. A very cool little car with a hand crank on the front to start the engine. It was open-air motoring. It was fun. These cars were sporty and they were fast. Unfortunately, in 1922, the company went out of business, not because Charles Metz was overspending, but because the company failed to change to meet the changing tastes of the motoring public. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll chat with the king of customizers, the designer and builder of the original 1960s TV Batmobile, George Barris.
We're going to rev up your engine next on Street Sport Television, but first, a word from our sponsors.
Turn back the hands of time with antique Chevrolet parts. Since 1971, we've been sourcing parts from around the world to help you restore and maintain antique Chevs. Nose to tail fins, we have your parts. Call us toll free at 1-866-767-2787. Get help from a real person or go to antiquechev.com. Download a catalog, order online, delivered to your front door. Antique Chev, helping you turn back the hands of time.
Join Rick Walker and the SST Car Show crew at the Ottawa Gatineau International Auto Show. All major brands, all the new models of cars, trucks, and SUVs under one roof at the Shaw Centre right in the heart of downtown Ottawa. You could win a Harley-Davidson courtesy of Mantha Insurance just by attending. Order tickets online now at autoshowottawa.com. Join the SST Car Show crew March 19th to 22nd at the Ottawa Gatineau International Auto Show.
Hey friends, welcome back to the SST Car Show. Off we go now to the Fleetwood Country Cruize In London, Ontario, the biggest outdoor car show in Canada, for an interview with the one, the only, the original designer of the 1960s TV Batmobile, the king of customizers, George Barris. Can we just talk a little bit about this specific event, the Steve Plunkett Fleetwood Country Cruize In? How does this show compare to the events you go to in other parts of Canada and the United States?
Well, you've been to state fairs, county fairs, and everything, but they're horses and cows and all that. Here he's brought to Canada, which is something we do not have in USA yet, and that is a show about everything with people. Cars, everything you can think of fun and enjoyment and things that you want to see and be a part of and make you happy. Again, we're back to the word happy. And you don't find too many shows all over the world that does what he's done here in your Canadian aspect.
And I guess it comes back to celebrating a little bit of nostalgia. Everything retro is here, which is why you fit right in because of all of your, I guess, your past movie cars and even the stuff that you've done that's even current today.
Well, that's the big thing. He's brought it in and it continues to let us expand it more and more each time because he knows what we like to make his people that are here coming, make them happy and make them enjoy it, make them a part. We even drag some of those guys in from New York, that it's hard to really change, and that shows you that you are from USA to New York to Canada to Australia. No matter where you go, you'll find it more so here with Plunkett.
But you are doing a lot of shows still even today, even after all these years. How many shows do you do in a year? Did you have any idea? Can you even keep count?
Well, I go around that thing that's round, a world. We might be going to the moon next year. So if it looks like it, I'll go ahead and get a hold of them, and we will be able to bring 4 wheels and bring them to the moon.
Well, judging from what you've done in the past, if there's a guy to design a car to go to the moon, it's you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program again. Well, friends, that's all we have time for today. So until next time, I'm Rick Walker reminding you, when you can't get to the car show, we will bring the car show to you online at streetsporttv.com.
Maverick Multimedia production.